This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. So proud to be with you this morning. Chapter 57 of the book of Isaiah talks about the righteous person will inherit the kingdom of heaven. But before he talks about that, he talks about the scorner, the sinful man, the man who denies the mercy of the Lord to come and take him in. And he about the man who takes away his neighbor and the righteous for evil. He shall enter in to the bed of the unrighteous. And in verse 3 he said, "But come here, you sons of sorcerers, of offspring of adulterers and harlots. Whom do you ridicule? Against whom do you make a wide mouth and stick out the tongue, and are not children of transgression, offering in fleshhood, inflaming yourselves with gods under every green tree, children in the valley, under the cliffs and the rocks, among the smooth stones of the stream, is your portion. They are lot, every one of them have poured out drink offerings. You have offered a grain offering. Should I receive comfort in this? Oh, a lofty high mountain, you have set your bed. Even here you went up and offered sacrifice also, and the doors and the posts, and you have set up your remembrance, for you have uncovered yourself to those other than me, and have gone up to them. You have enlarged your bed, made a covenant with them. You have loved their bed, where you saw their nudity, and you went to the king with ointment, and increased your perfume. You set your messengers far off, even descended to Sheol or hell. You are wearied in the length of your way. Yet you did not say, there is no hope. You have found the life of your band. Therefore you were not grieved. And who have you been afraid of? Fear that you have lied and not remembered me, nor taken it to your heart. It is not because I have held my peace from old that you do not fear me. It is not because God's held his peace, because he gave his son for you when you were living or are living in iniquity. Or actually, iniquity is a word that's attributed to save people. Sin is sin. And the sin of the world today is fleshhood. The flesh of two people, two men, two women, a man and a woman. But the flesh today has taken itself to a high mountain, and it has portrayed all of the fleshly joy as the way to go. But there's no peace in that. It's a temporary stay for a few seconds. Afterwards, that same man that had pleasure with that woman will find another woman and try to have that same pleasure with another woman and another woman and another woman and another woman. Sometimes men get to have pleasure with women is not enough. So he becomes bisexual. And that means he allows other men to do the same thing with him that a woman would. And he becomes then homosexual. This is an abomination to the Lord God of heaven. And God frowns on it. And God says, I hate that sin. But man, a woman, boy, or girl who has entered into the homosexual realm, God does not hate you. He hates the sin that's spotted from the things you do in the flesh, but he does not hate you. The door is open for you. Listen to this right here, verse 12. I will declare your righteousness and your works. If you turn, ask Jesus to forgive you of your sin, turn from your wicked ways, and seek him, he will take it and make you have righteous works. For they will not profit you when you cry out. Let your collection of idols deliver you. Now, if you want to follow your idols and not come to the way of righteousness, your works will not profit you. And when you cry out, it won't help you. But the wind will carry them all away. A breath will take them. But he who puts his trust in me shall possess the land and shall inherit my holy mountain. Now what he's saying, if you will put away and put aside what you've learned in the flesh, you can come in a righteous, same body you're in now, same body you've committed crimes and sins against God and hate and heinous things and evil things and sexual things and things of the flesh. And so you put those away, and he will give you his righteousness. He will clothe you and clean you up from the dirty, scummy life you live in. And one shall say, heap it up, prepare the way, take the stumbling block out of the way of my people. For thus saith the high and lofty one, who inhabits eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the holy places with him who has a contrite heart and a humble spirit. God dwells in the great high mountain, in the place. If you have a humble heart and a contrite spirit, humble your heart and say, God, this thing that I'm living, this life I'm living, is dirty, nasty, and awful, and I want to change it. You help me change it. And you ask the Lord, say, Lord, forgive me of this sin. And you know what Jesus said to the woman at the well? She said she had had 5 husbands and was living with a man right now that was not her husband. Jesus said, I don't condemn you. He said, I tell you what you do. You go marry that man you're living with, and I forgive you for all those other 5 deals, and you go and you sin no more. And you go bring that group up here and talk to me. She went and brought the whole city back. The woman that was taken in adultery, Jesus said, where are your accusers? I do not accuse you either. But he also said, go and sin no more. In other words, do not go back and do what that thing you were doing before you asked Jesus to save you. Is that something you can quit instantly? Yes, it is. If you get a new life, if you get a new body, if you become a new person, you will change.